All right, let's just get right into it. If you're a creator, you know the feeling. The slow growth, the videos that get no views, that feeling like you're just shouting into an empty room. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the tough reality of YouTube and really figure out the core principles that separate that thriving 1% from the 99% who just, well, they just fade out.
And look, that number, that's not just something we pulled out of thin air. It's roughly the percentage of YouTubers who, for all their hard work, never really get any significant, lasting growth on the platform. It's a tough pill to swallow, for sure, but actually understanding this is your first step to beating those odds.
So what is the secret sauce? Is it just dumb luck? Some magical algorithm hack you haven't found yet? Nope. It's a very specific set of mindsets and, strategies that the top creators use, whether they even realize they're doing it or not. And that is exactly what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, before we get to the solutions, the good stuff, we have to face the music. We need to look at the hard data, because knowing how steep the mountain is you're trying to climb, well, it makes you a much, much smarter climber. Just look at these numbers. Out of more than 115 million channels, a massive 90% never even hit 1,000 subscribers. Only 6% ever make any money from their videos. And getting that silver play button, that's just 0.6% of creators. Hitting 1 million subs? A tiny, tiny fraction, 0.05%. So if you're out there struggling to grow, just take a breath. You're not failing, you're just living the statistical reality of this platform. And this right here, this really gets to the heart of the problem. We all have this expectation, right? I'll upload a few great videos, one of them will pop off, and boom, I've made it. But the reality? It's more like this. Most people upload maybe 5 videos, get less than 50 views on each one, and then they quit, thinking, well, I guess I'm just not good enough. And that disconnect is where the journey ends for most people before it even has a chance to start. So, you know it's hard. And you start looking for answers, right? You start watching videos on how to grow. And that's exactly when you fall into this single biggest trap for new creators. It feels so productive, but honestly, it's quicksand. And we call this the growth hack trap. You've been there. You watch one video after another on how to get more views. Each video gives you this little hit of dopamine, It makes you feel like, okay, I'm making progress, I'm learning. But unless you stop and immediately apply what you just learned, you're just spinning your wheels. You end up becoming a professional learner, not an actual creator. So how do you break out of the trap? With this? A really simple filter. Before you click on one more advice video, you've got to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, can I apply this today? Number 2, will it directly improve my content? And 3, does it fit my specific niche? If the answer to any of those is no, just skip it. So for example, let's say you make Minecraft videos and you see a tutorial on advanced cinematic color grading. Does that fit your niche? Will it improve today's video? Probably not. Skip it. This little bit of discipline is what turns you from a passive watcher into an active doer. Okay, so you've learned how to filter out all that noise. Now let's build the foundation that will actually support your growth. Because all the strategy in the world is useless if you don't have the right mindset. This is what really holds up the success of that top 1%. And this is huge. You have to change your definition of a win. Seriously, forget about the money, forget about going viral for now. Your new milestones are these small, real signs that you're moving forward. Your first real comment from a total stranger, hitting your first 100 subscribers, getting that first video to crack 1,000 views. These are the things that will actually keep you going when those huge numbers feel like they're a million miles away. And just let this one sink in. Mr. Beast, okay, maybe the biggest creator on the planet, made 100 videos before he even got to 1,000 subscribers. The kind of traction most of us expect after like 10 videos. So if you've uploaded fewer than 100 videos, you are not failing. You are in your apprenticeship. You're just learning the craft. Don't judge the final score before you've even finished your training. And that's the whole point of putting in all those reps. Every single video is a chance to practice, a chance to apply something new you've learned. Even if you just get 1% better, a tiny improvement in your title, your hook, your editing, that stuff adds up. Over 100 videos, you're not just 100% better. It's a compound effect that can totally transform your channel. All right, so that's the mindset. That's your mental armor. Now that your head's in the right place and your goals are reset, let's get you some strategic weapons. These are the fundamental principles that really guide successful content. This one's going to sound a little weird, but trust me, it is so important. As new creators, we think we need some totally unique, revolutionary idea to stand out. It's actually the opposite. Start by studying what is already working in your niche. Find the successful titles, the thumbnails, the editing styles, and use those proven formats as your starting point. You have to learn the rules of the game before you can start breaking them.
Okay, shorts are an amazing tool, but most creators use them all wrong. They treat them like TikTok, chasing random trends for quick hit of views. All that does is confuse your audience and confuse the algorithm. Instead, think of your shorts as the front door to your main channel. They have to support your long-form videos, they have to match your niche, and their whole job is to pull interested people deeper into your world.
Everyone tells you to be consistent, but what they usually mean is you have to upload every single day. For most people, that is a direct recipe for burnout. True consistency is finding a schedule, maybe it's once a week, once every 2 weeks, even once a month, that you can actually stick with for the long haul. The algorithm and your audience, they reward reliability, not a crazy frequency that you can't possibly maintain. So what happens if you do all this stuff and you're still not growing? Well, it might be the niche, not you. But don't abandon ship too early. You have to give one niche at least 6 to 12 months of consistent effort. After you've got dozens of videos up, look at the data. If there is still zero traction, then don't be afraid to pivot. Almost every single top creator started in a totally different niche than the one they're in today. Okay, we've covered mindset, we've covered strategy. Now we're at the single most important principle for execution. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this. You've probably heard of the 80-20 rule, right? The Pareto principle. Well, on YouTube, it's everything. It basically means that 80% of your results, your views, your subs, all your growth is going to come from just 20% of your efforts. The entire key to success is figuring out what that 20% is and then becoming completely obsessed with it. And here it is. This is the 20% that drives 80% of your results. We call it your video's packaging. It's 4 things: the core idea, the clickable title, the compelling thumbnail, and the hook in the first 30 seconds that makes people stop scrolling. Everything else, your fancy editing, the B-roll, the music, that's all in the 80% that has way, way less impact. Let's just be blunt here. You could create the most brilliant, perfectly crafted video in the history of the world. But if the idea is weak, the title is boring, and the thumbnail is trash, no one will ever see it. And if they do click, but your hook fails to grab them in the first 30 seconds, they're gone. Your masterpiece is now invisible. This is where you have to focus all your energy. So, we've covered the brutal stats, the mindset traps, the core strategies. You have the blueprint now. The question isn't, what do I do anymore? The question is, what are you going to do right now? What is the one small 1% improvement you can take from this and apply to your very next video to start breaking out of that 99%?